Hello fellow humans! Today I'm going to be showing you my stationery essentials for bullet journaling. First is pencils, because I would die without them. This first one is the Pentel Graph Gear. It is 0.3 millimeters, so it has a pretty tiny tip, and it's also weighted, which can be really nice when you're drawing. But sometimes I just want something a little comfier to hold, so when I want that, I grab this little brown bear pencil from Line Friends. Yeah, it was cute, and it actually is quite comfortable to hold for long periods of time. Next are naturally erasers, because you need to get rid of mistakes even in pencil. This little thing is my favorite discovery for literally all time, and it is this itty bitty tiny baby eraser for little pencil marks or things you can't get with a regular eraser, and I use it religiously. And then a more traditional eraser, same brand, it is Tombow Mono, but it's the little standard size eraser, and honestly both of these just work so well. And then I have this ruler. This is cool because it's small enough to fit in my pencil case, but it folds out to be, I think, 30 centimeters or 12-ish inches. It might be a little bit longer than that, but it's super handy to keep in my bag for when I am sneakily working on bullet journal spreads in my downtime at work. Similarly, I also have this circle ruler, and it is just incredibly handy in the most random of circumstances. So next, we're going to talk about what I like to use for the actual setup of my journal. And obviously there's many things I like to use, but we're going to stick with the things that I reach for time and time again, starting with all my lovely mild liners. Mild liners are, yes, very overhyped, but they're also fabulous, and I love them to death, and I just use them all the time. I think there's 20 colors total that you can get. I, of course, have all of them because I have an obsessive, addictive personality. They have two tips, so on one end you have a chisel tip that can be used like a highlighter or to do lettering that would utilize that, or just to color things in or underline things. And on the other side is a finer tip. Don't ask me why I chose this color to write this title, I couldn't tell you. So next are these fine liners, which I feel like everyone in the world has, but if you don't, they are the Pigma Micron black fine liners. And I have a few different sizes. The one I reach for most is probably this one, the 0.05 tip, but you can get them in sets from as small as 0.005 all the way up to, I think the biggest might be 1 millimeter, but don't quote me on that. They're just really handy. And then for slightly wider lines, or to just color things in really well so that you can put white on top of them, I really like the Tombow 𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒂 hard tip specifically. These markers are just really nice to use and have a really nice dark ink, and I suck at calligraphy right now, but I am working on brush lettering and just different forms of hand lettering, so this is fun to use for that. Me not sure how to spell 𝒂𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒂𝒂, but I think I did it. Another thing I use almost every single month in my bullet journal are these markers, specifically this one, and these are the Tombow dual tip brush pens. This one I use for all of my shadows. Like almost every shadow that I draw on lettering or on images, I will use this. And again, like the mild liners, it has two tips, except one of these is a brush tip while the other is a very fine bullet tip. And I have a little bit of a collection of these as well. So next we are going to move into correction. A lot of people have differing opinions on white gel pens, but I am in this camp. I am in love with the Uniball Signo white pen. It's 1mm, so it's nice and wide but not huge, and it covers things very easily, and I just really enjoy using it. And I have had zero issues with transparency or anything like that. If you want some bigger swatches of correction, you can always use correction tape. And then just as a bonus in this portion, I wanted to throw in this stuff. It's crafter's tape. And basically, if you want to add layers of paper or cutouts or anything really, pictures, you can use this as glue for your pages. Super handy. So next we're going to be talking about just writing utensils. What I like to use to fill out my journal, or again to write cards or to write in my regular journal. The first one is another Uniball Signo. It is also 1mm. It feels really soft when you write with it, but it's this black gel pen and it's just a really lovely writing experience. I adore this thing. I have like 4 of them. If you want a slightly thinner line, which I do sometimes, the Muji gel pens are always a good option. This one is the 0.5mm. The 0.38 are just a little too needly for me and I don't love them, so I prefer this one. And then if you feel a little bougie, this is the Muji fountain pen. I love fountain pens. I actually love this one a lot more than the others that I have had in the past, including the Lamy ones. This is just such a smooth feel and I love the tip. It's beautiful. Like, look at that. But it's such a simple barrel, and the ink, it's just honestly delightful to write with. So the last section we're going to go into is paper, and this is mostly for bullet journaling, but again, you can use these as accents on other projects. First is my dear, my darling, my bullet journal for the year 2021. It is an 𝒂𝒅 & Olive A5 size white page dot grid notebook. 𝒂𝒅 & Olive is wonderful because their paper is 160 GSM, so you could watercolor on the stuff and nothing's going to leak through. I think I've been incredibly spoiled by it. I also have this black paper notebook from 𝒂𝒅 & Olive. This is a B6, I believe. And then we have an A5 notepad from 𝒂𝒅 & Olive. Yes, there's a heavy bias here. This is cool because it has black paper, white paper, and craft paper, and it's tear out. If you guys ever want to try something from 𝒂𝒅 & Olive, I do have an affiliate code. It is 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒏10 for 10% off your purchase, and the link is always in my description. And then I also have this beautiful book, which I have not touched yet. I got this in the last subscription box, so it will be used for a future journal or a future bullet journal. Who knows? And then this one is actually my bullet journal from last year. It's well loved, it's beat up, it's stained, it's a mess, but she treated me well and I love her. So those were actually all of the essentials that I wanted to share with you guys. Going through, I had a hard time picking out just my essentials. I wanted to just do a whole stationery tour, but there's time for that in the future. And for the first sort of my stationery video that I did, I wanted it to be my essentials so that you kind of know what I'm using all the time in my bullet journal videos. Everything that I showed today will be linked in the description, so feel free to go down there. The only affiliate link I have is the one for 𝒂𝒅 & Olive, but feel free to use that as well and use the code 𝒔𝒐𝒄𝒊𝒏10. You guys have a wonderful week. Go pet a cat, eat something delicious, sing a song, and I will see you all next week.